Hello muffins, it's Hazel. My pronouns are he, him. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be making a candy mask. But real quick before we get started, I wanted to thank the sponsors of my channel. We have Tina Harris, Jennifer Sexton, Sensory Dragon, Lily Garofano, and Danny with Paws. Big shout out to all of y'all. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. If you'd like to join them as members of this channel and get early access to my videos, shoutouts, and custom emojis, just follow the link in the description down below. Anyways guys, let's get started. So for the supplies, I'm going to be using my scissors, 1mm elastic cord, 136 orange beads, and 196 black beads. And that's 332 beads total. And then the amount of string that you're gonna need is 14 feet. So first you'll want to cut yourself a piece of string about 10 feet long, and then fold it in half, holding the two ends together. So first I'm going to add an orange bead onto each end of the string. And then we'll hold the two ends together and add on one black bead. Now I'll add on one orange on each end. Put the two ends together and I'll add another black bead. And then once again, I will put one orange on each end. Put the two ends together and add on one black bead. And it's going to start creating a little like spine that looks like this. And we're going to keep doing this pattern until we can count that it's 23 beads across. So far right now, it's 6 beads across. So I'm gonna do one orange on each end again. And it's gonna end with 2 orange because it's an odd number. It's very important if you wanna try making one of these and like you need to adjust the width of the mask, you're gonna want it to be an odd number. This is an odd peyote stitch pattern. So then one orange on each end, putting the ends together and putting on one black bead. Two orange, one black, two orange, one black, okay. I'm gonna pull some of these down to make more room. So, I think with these last two orange, this is going to be 23 beads long. But I'm going to tighten all of them and then like doubly count it just to make sure. So what you want to do is pull them all towards the middle of the folded in half piece of string, which is very long, but we will use it all. Plus more for the straps. Okay, and now I'm gonna tighten this spine up by grabbing the beads and pulling them towards the middle. And we do want to have a lot of tension in this part because we want the mask to be really stiff and kind of hold its structure. For example, there's this one. This one's a trans pride flag. The lighting is not optimized for these colors right now. But if you make it too loose, your mask's gonna be all floppy. So I'm gonna pull these nice and tight. You know, I have those trans pride masks in my Etsy store, just saying. Now I'm gonna count this and see if it's 23. If not, may have to add or subtract some. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23. Okay, so it's 23 long. So now we can tie it off at the end of the spine. I do a double knot here. And then you'll want to take just one of your ends of string and place it through the edge bead closest to you. We're only going to be using one end of string and we're going to be making essentially the top third of the mask first. So, so we're basically making this part right now, and then we'll move on to the sort of middle part, and then we'll do the bottom. Sorry, the lighting is absolutely not optimized for pastels right now. So I'm going to add a black bead onto my string. And then I'll put the string through the next orange bead. And I'll pull that through, and that's gonna land the black bead right there. And we're going to, this row, we're going to be filling in all the black beads. That's why I did 2 color stripes, to keep it really simple for you. So I'm going to add another black bead, and then put the string through the next orange bead. Then I'll add a black bead, put the string through the next orange bead. We'll add a black bead, put the string through the next orange bead. Remember to tighten it as you go, pretty tightly. Just be careful if you're using clear elastic. If you try to tighten too hard with clear elastic, it will break, so it may take some practice to get a proper tension with that type of string, but with 1mm elastic cord, I could tug this so far it won't stretch anymore and it won't break. Don't have to be as careful with it. So anyways, we're just gonna add black beads all the way across. And here I'm adding on the last black bead of the row, and I'm gonna put the string through this orange edge bead here. And that finishes off our first row. Now we're gonna take that same string and turn around and put it through the black bead that we just added on, without adding any beads on. And this is going to help us create the diagonal shape on the top of the mask. And then here we're going to add an orange bead. This whole row is going to be all orange. So then I'll put my string through the next black. Then I'll add an orange and put the string through the next black. Add an orange and put the string through the next black. And we're going to do this all the way across. And we're going to stop at the last black bead in the row. So there we've added on our last orange bead of the row, and our string is coming out through the last black bead there. Now we're going to turn around and put the string through the last orange bead we added. Now I'll add on a black bead and put the string through the next orange. As you can see, our diagonal shape here is coming along pretty well. Now I'll add a black bead and put the string through the next orange. Add another black bead, put the string through the next orange. And on this row, we're going to stop when our string is coming out of this orange bead right here. Whoops, wrong color. So that's our last black bead of the row, and our string is now coming out of this orange bead. So now we'll take the string and put it back through the black bead we just added. And now this row is going to be all orange beads. We're going to stop here when our string is coming out of this black bead. So with each row, we're decreasing the width. So now our string is coming out of this black bead. We're going to turn around and put it through the last orange bead we added. And then this row is going to be all black beads. And at the end of the row, our string should be coming out right here. So now our string is coming out from this orange bead here, and we're going to turn it around and put it through the last black bead that we added. And this row is going to be all orange beads. We're going to stop here when our string is coming out of this black bead. So now our string is coming out of this black bead, and we'll be putting it through the orange bead that we just added. So this row here, you'll notice that it has 5 gaps that we could potentially put black beads into. But we're going to skip the middle one. So we're going to add 2, skip, and then 2. So I'll start with adding a black bead, then put the string through the next orange bead. Then we're going to add another black bead, put the string through the next orange bead. And then I'm going to, without adding a bead here, just put the string through this black bead and then through this orange bead. So basically just through the next 2 beads. So that way we can skip that space. And then we will add the next 2 beads on. So 1 black bead here, and 1 black bead here. Oh. My string got all coily. Then we'll turn the string around and put it through the last black bead that we added. Then here we'll add on 1 orange bead and put the string through the next black bead. Then I'm going to put the string through the next 4 beads without adding any more beads on. All right. Now we're going to add on an orange bead and put our string through the next black bead. And that is the top piece of the mask done. So it's gonna have these two sort of points there, and later on we're gonna sew it up to where it's like that, and it's gonna help give the mask a nice shape to where it'll fit on your face really well. So now that we've finished the top part of the mask, we're gonna move on to like the middle part. I'm gonna flip this over. Kind of put this top string out of the way for a minute. And then grab this bottom string. I'm gonna put that string through the edge bead that's closest to me. And then we're just gonna add black beads all the way across until our string is coming out the very edge bead on the opposite side. So that's our last bead of this row, and now what we're gonna do is kind of go back and get this top string, because for odd peyote stitch we are gonna need both ends of the string. So real quick, we're gonna grab this string. It's currently coming out of this bead right here. And we're going to just put it like through all of the beads on the edge until we get to the second bead from the end. We're basically just trying to move this end over so we can use it for the middle part of the mask as well. And then from here, it's right here, coming out of this black bead. I'm going to put it through this orange bead. Not the one right next to it, the other one. And the string should kind of just go into the little gap right here. Now let's rotate that back how we had it a second ago. And you know what? I'm gonna use this one on the next row, not this one. Because this end of string is much shorter, so I want to start with the longer one, and we're kind of at a part where we could start with either one and it wouldn't matter. So I am gonna start with the longer one to kind of preserve the length of the shorter one. So here we're going to add on an orange bead, put it through the next black bead, and we'll just add orange beads like normal all the way till we get to the last black bead of the row, and then at that part I'll show you how to add the last bead on. Mm-hmm. Alright, so now our string is coming out of this black bead, and we're gonna add on the final bead of this row. It's gonna be orange. So once we add that bead on, we're going to switch to the other string. And we're going to put that other string through that same bead, but just going the opposite way. And that's gonna help it stay on the edge. And then for this row, all we need to do is add black beads all the way across. Very simple. So that is the end of that row. So now I'm going to switch to the string on the left-hand side. And I'm going to add those orange beads all the way across. And I will show you how to do the last bead on the row again. Just make sure that I'm explaining thoroughly. All right, so let's add on this last bead of the row. Gonna put it on the string and then switch to the other string and put that one through that same bead, just going the opposite way. We're gonna pull that through, and that's gonna hold it on. And then let's add black beads all the way across. So now that that row is complete, we're going to switch over to the string that's on the right side. And then add an orange bead. Put the string through the next black. And we're going to do that all the way across. And I will show you how to do the edge bead again, just to make sure that I'm explaining thoroughly. You know, I chose black and orange because Halloween's coming up, and it's one of my favorite holidays. And I really wanted to make a really simple, easy candy mask tutorial for you guys. So if you wanted to make one for Halloween or for, you know, like a music festival that's in October, then you would have a really easy tutorial you could follow. My one from several years back, there's just parts of it that are sped up. I used to speed up some of my footage, and I feel like that made my tutorials a lot more difficult than they should have been. But someone in my comments section one time suggested that I stop doing that. So I did. I actually really like constructive feedback. I've also been asked to make sure my audio is loud enough for people who are hard of hearing and such. And I am absolutely happy to make those accommodations. Because at the end of the day, I make these tutorials for you. And I want you to be able to use them. So here we're going to add the last bead. So there it is. And then I'm going to switch to my other string and put it through that same bead, going the opposite way. And then we're going to add black beads all the way across on this row. The lighting keeps changing because a storm blew through today while I was filming. And most of the lighting is coming from my window. Natural lighting is really the best. So, how you'll know that you've completed the middle portion of your mask is that the edge here is going to be 7 beads tall. So we just have like 2 more to go, and then we'll be able to move on to the bottom portion. So now I'm going to switch to the string that's on the left-hand side. And we're going to add orange beads all the way across. Oh, but I was gonna talk about something, but we're on the last bead of the row, and I just want to make sure I explain this again, just in case, because, sometimes it can take a few times doing something to remember it. So let's add on this final bead. We'll switch strings, and then we'll put it through that same bead, going the opposite way to hold it on. And then this row, we're gonna do black beads all the way across. So what I was gonna say is, speaking of, learning to make sure that my audio is loud enough for people to hear, I actually kind of went on this journey where I became a voice actor. So I now have several years of freelance voice actor experience, and I learned a lot about recording and editing audio in that time, so I feel like that's really benefited my videos. I've been working very hard since June, since Pride Month this year. Been working very hard to sort of increase the audio quality of my videos with each one that I put out. It was just kind of a process remembering how to do all of that, because I had to take a break for a couple of years. But I'm really excited because I am getting into voice acting again, slowly but surely. And I do really kind of love it as a sort of day job for myself. And I still get to be creative at it. Voice acting is also how I learned and really just took to heart the importance of staying hydrated at all times. I never go anywhere without a bottle of water anymore. So now we are switching to the string that's on the right hand side, and we're going to do orange beads all the way across. And you know, I really hope I've been saying the correct left and right, because that is, I am directionally challenged. I think that's part of my my autistic traits. So let me know in the comments, how am I doing? Am I getting am I getting the left and right accurately? I'm left-handed, and oftentimes I, for some reason, think that left is right, because like most people are right-handed. So like I think that my dominant hand is the right one, but it's actually the left one. So that kind of adds to it a little bit. And you know what? Once we've completed these kind of next 2 rows, then we'll be able to move on to the bottom portion of the mask. Alright, so to add on this last bead, we'll add that on and then switch to our other string. Put that string through the same bead we just added, going the opposite way. Then we'll add black beads all the way across. I never was good at physics. Sometimes the candy snaps back at me. Wow, look at the progress we're making. It always feels really good when you get to this part. You're like, I just made most of a candy mask. We get to make the bottom portion of the mask now. I'm just gonna leave this shorter string just kind of laying around here on the right side, and I'm just gonna use the longer one to make the bottom of the mask. And this is pretty much gonna be the same as when we made the top part, but I'm gonna still explain it in detail just to make sure that I'm thorough enough for everyone to follow along. So we're going to take this long string on the left-hand side and put it through the next black bead without adding any more beads on. Then we're going to add orange beads all the way across until we get to the last black bead in the row. So there we go. Now the string is coming out of the last black bead in the row. And we're going to turn around and put the string through the last orange bead that we added. Then we'll add black beads all the way across until we get to the last orange bead in the row. So one of the things that I'm doing to work on the quality of my audio for my YouTube videos, figured we could just talk shop. If there's anyone else who likes to make videos, you might try this. I got a plugin for Audacity, so I edit my videos audio in Audacity, and the way that I do it, I got a plugin for Audacity that allows me to open MP4 files in Audacity. So I record the audio and video at the same time in OBS, and then I just put the MP4 into Audacity to edit the audio separately, and then put that back over the video. So that way I don't have to worry about the audio being synced or not, really. And so that way, when I edit it in Audacity, I don't edit the timing of the sound, just the quality. So here we go, add in the last black bead in the row. Now our string is coming out from this last orange one. We're going to turn around and put the string through the last black bead we added. And Then we're gonna just add orange beads all the way across until we get to the last black bead in the row. And the video editor that I've been using recently is called OpenShot, and it is completely free. And there was a bit of a learning curve for me, but there always is for video editing software. It's always a seemingly more complicated and like more complicated than it should be, and not as user-friendly as I would think they'd make it. But I'm learning how to use it properly. But boy, if you decide to try OpenShot, just expect to have to watch tutorials to do basic stuff. And it doesn't have like a great feature for cropping videos for mobile, so I end up just putting them on my phone and using UCut for that when I make shorts. So you see this bead over here? It's doing some weird stuff, but it's okay. We'll fix it later. Don't even worry about it. Okay, here goes the last bead of this row. Gonna be coming out right here. And we're gonna turn around and put the string back through the last orange bead we added. Then we're gonna add black beads all the way across till we get to the last orange bead in the row. We're really getting close to finishing this. It always feels like such an accomplishment. And I'm always more than ready to be done because these take quite a while. Although I am having fun chilling, making it. It is just a lot of work. So now that our string is coming out from this orange bead right here, we're going to turn around and put the string back through the last black bead we added. Then we're going to add orange beads all the way across till we get to the last black bead in the row. But yeah, speaking of UCut, for mobile, I really do like that app. It has some free music you can use. You just have to like watch ads to be able to use it, which I don't mind. And they have really good editing features, like it's really easy to add like pictures into your video and stuff. I really enjoyed that for making my YouTube shorts. So now we've got 5 gaps in this row. So that's going to let us know that we're going to be skipping the middle gap when we add our beads on. So we're only going to be adding 4 beads. So my string is coming out from here. I'll be putting it through the last orange bead I just added. Then we're going to add on 2 black beads. Then we'll put our string through the next 2 beads without adding any more beads on. Then we'll add on 2 more black beads. Then I'll put the string back through the last black bead I added. I'll add an orange bead here. Then I'll put the string through the next 4 beads without adding any more beads on. Then we'll add our last bead. I'm gonna add the last bead. It's gonna be orange. And now all we gotta do, well, at least for this piece, then we'll be mostly done. We've just gotta tie this off. And I think I would like to tie it off like right here. So some of the edge beads have like a string that's coming out and going like that. And I like to make my 2 ends of string kind of meet each other at one of those points, because the beads are really like squished together there. And I can kind of hide the knot in there so you won't be able to see it as much. So that's kind of my strategy. So I'm going to pick this spot. So I want my 2 ends of string to meet in between these 2. And then that's where we're going to tie it. So to get there, I'll need to take this string right here and put it through the next 3 beads. Then we're going to go back for that shorter string that we kind of left hanging there. May have to just kind of do some tightening and mess with it to get it to look right. Because it's kind of getting pulled down. This part might be a little tricky, but so we've put it through this black bead. Then we're also going to put it through 2 more beads until it reaches right next to where the other string is. So now that my strings are next to each other, we're going to tie those in a triple knot. And if you're using clear elastic especially, you're going to want to tug on the ends of the string like that. Just don't do it too terribly hard if you're using clear elastic. The thing about clear elastic, the reason I do that, is it's very slippery, so the knots tend to like to come undone. But if you pull too hard when you're tightening, they may snap. So just, it may take a while to figure out the right tension. But with this string, you don't really have to worry about either of those problems. So if you can, switch to, elastic cord. I highly recommend that. So now we're going to take these little points at the top and bottom and sew them up so we get that nice shape. I still have a little bit of string left from the main piece of the mask we just made, so I'm just going to use that. And if you don't have any left, use a piece that's a few inches long. So we're going to put our string through the very middle bead and make the ends even when we pull it through. Then I'm going to put one end of the string through the bead that's right next to it. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Just put that string through the bead that's right next to it. So then our string is going to be through kind of the middle 3 beads. There we are. Now I'm going to take the left hand side of string and put it through this black bead on the other side. Then I'll switch strings, put that string through this black bead on the other side. So we've kind of crisscrossed the strings. So I'm going to take the end of string that's on the left-hand side and put it through the very point bead on the right-hand side. Then I'll switch strings, put that string through the very point bead on the left-hand side. And that way we've kind of laced this up like it's shoelaces or a corset. And now we're going to tie this in a triple knot. But first I'm going to do 1 knot. And then I'm going to pull so it really tightens that knot. And then I'll do the other 2 knots on top of that. Oh, that looks really cool how the stripes are lining up like that. So now we just have to do the other side. I've got another scrap from when I cut the ends off earlier, so we're going to put our string through the middle 3 beads. And make sure it's even on both sides. So let's do that. Now I'm going to take the string on the left-hand side and put it through this black bead on the right hand side. Then I'll switch strings and put that string through this black bead on the left hand side. Now I'm going to take this string on the left hand side and put it through the point bead on the right hand side. The string is like barely long enough. So then I'll switch strings and put my string through the point bead on the left hand side. Sure hope I'm getting these directions right. Now let's tie one knot. Then we're going to tighten that knot by pulling like this. Then we're going to put 2 more knots on top of that. So there's that piece finished. And now we've just got to add the straps. So for each strap, I use 2 feet of string. So I'll go ahead and get a 2-foot piece of string. I'm gonna fold that in half. And I'm going to start with this side. So we're gonna go kind of over here to this edge. I'm going to take the 2 top beads, the 2 top black beads from this row, and I'm going to put one end of string through each bead. So that one, and then the one right under it. And then I'll grab those 2 ends and pull them through, and just try to keep the ends even. And then I'll hold the 2 ends together, and I'll put them through the very top orange bead on this column. And pull those through. And then we're going to add 34 black beads. And you can also kind of like, you can add that many and hold it up to your face and see if you need to add or subtract some for it to fit you properly. But yeah, so we're gonna hold the 2 ends together and add on 34 black beads. So you'll want to put both ends of the string through each bead. Oops. Yeah, I haven't been yapping during this part because I'm trying to count, but I did lose count. So let's see how many I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Oh, I put too many. Okay, so I'm gonna take one off. I had put 35. Okay. So yeah. Now that you've got your 34 beads on there, we're gonna put both our ends of string through the very bottom orange bead on this column. And when we're tying this on, we don't want to make it too tight because then it's not going to be very comfortable on your ears. So then we'll take one end of string and place it through each of the 2 bottom black beads in this column. But yeah, so we, whereas with this piece, we didn't want this to really stretch, but with the ear pieces, you want that to be able to stretch. So we're going to be going through this bead with one end of the string. Then the other end is going to go through this bead. Now we're not really going to pull this too tight. We kind of just want each of these beads to kind of be touching this column. And then I'm going to tie a triple knot. But when I do the first knot, I'm not going to pull that tight. But I will pull the second and third knots tight. And that's going to make it to where there's not too much tension going into the ear strap. I don't know about y'all, but I have very sensitive ears. Probably part of my autism. So then I like to take this and kind of like tug on that to kind of release some slack from the knot. So our ear strap's looking pretty floppy, and that's how we like it. So now we're gonna do the other side. One more. So we're going to need 2 feet more of string. And the reason why I have the mask face down when I'm doing this is so that the knot from the ear strap is going to be on the inside. So when you're wearing the mask, you can't see it. Oh, it looks so cute. So I'm going to fold my 2-foot piece of string in half and place each end through the top 2 black beads of this column right here. So one end through each bead. And then pull those through, keeping them the same length. Then we'll put the 2 ends together and place them through the top orange bead of this column. I'm having a hard time fitting it in there. Okay. Well, maybe I'll do one at a time then. One at a time works too, you know? Whatever helps. Okay, there goes one. Oh, okay, okay. We're in business. Now we're gonna add 34 black beads. Which I don't think I have to really count while I'm doing it because I got the exact number of beads I needed. I've started doing that. It's never something I did before. But people kept requesting that I put like bead counts in my videos, so I started doing it, of course. And I found it's easier also for me if I just count out all the beads and put them in a specific bead container before I get started, and then when I run out of beads, I know I'm done. It's great. I actually really like it. The, you know, the audience of these videos have done a lot to help me improve them. Another thing I've been doing since someone requested it a couple months back is putting the bead counts on the screen. And of course I started measuring how much string I was using instead of just winging it every time. And I started using much bigger pieces of string so I don't have to add any. Adding string is kind of a pain, honestly. I used to think using a very large piece of string was more of a pain than adding string, but after I made a couple of Kandi purses, I changed my mind on that. I got so tired of adding string. I made a Kandi messenger bag one time, and I got real tired of adding string to that. It was really cute though. I still have like 2 Kandi purses I haven't finished in my closet. I don't even know if I have the beads to finish them at this point, because they're like, you know, specific colors and stuff. But one day I shall finish them. Let me know if you enjoyed the yapping in today's video. I don't usually yap, but I've been trying to come out of my shell more and just be myself on this channel. Kind of ever since I found out that I'm autistic and transgender. I was really kind of putting on like a character, like a persona in my videos from several years back. And now I'm kind of just trying to be me, you know, and let more of my real personality shine through on here. So did you like the yap sesh? Let me know. We're almost done. I'm trying to wrangle these last few beads out of the container. Okay, and I am gonna count just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure I put the exact amount of beads I needed in that container. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 34. Hey, okay. I've got my 34 beads. Let's go. So then we're gonna put both ends of the string through the very bottom orange bead on this column. There we go, I got them both at once. Okay. Remember not to pull it too tight, just enough to where these 2 beads are touching the mask. And then we're gonna put each end of the string through the bottom 2 beads on this column right here. Okay. We got this. We're like almost done. Okay. Now we're going to tie these two ends into a triple knot. Remember not to tighten the first knot. Just tighten the two knots that go on top of it. Okay. And now I'm gonna grab the strap right here and pull on it. So if there's any extra slack that can come out of the knot, it can. So it'll kind of contribute to the ear loops being floppy. Ah, okay, we did it, guys. I don't even know how long this footage is. It's at least an hour. Probably more, because it usually takes me an hour to make them when I'm not yapping and telling people how to do it. Let's try it on. Let's try it on. I want to see. I feel like the mask was on before the glasses, right? I'm so glad I'm using beard color instead of mascara for my mustache, because if I wasn't, I'd be so scared it would rub off. Oh, it's so cool. Frickin' Halloween colored candy mask. Let's go! Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun making your very own candy mask or one to give to your friend. You can actually post your creations and tag me on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. I really like to see everyone's candy. Let me know what tutorials you would like to see next. And until next time, peace, love, unity, and respect.